Hey, beautiful ladies of Indianapolis. Are you looking for a beauty place where you can buy all your latest human hairs and other beauty accessories? Look no more. The MD Beauty Salon, located at 3429 Kentucky Avenue, is just that right spot for all your beauty needs. At MD's, our customers' satisfaction is our foremost priority. Our staffs are friendly and accommodating. Contact us today on 317-360-2624. MD Beauty Salon, your one-stop shop for all your beauty needs. And hey, ladies, when you get there, tell Mariette that the girl is sexy.
Alrighty. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on which part of the world you are. Welcome again to another edition of the Logan's Hour. Today promised to be a very good one. As we adjust, um, um, just a little second right there. Let me see. It shows that we are okay on it. Everything is moving smoothly. So I want to use this time to say, uh, welcome to this Tuesday edition of the Logan's Hour. Some for some reason today I felt today is um Thursday, and all along I've been thinking today's a Thursday. So I'm sorry if I'm a little slower on the date. So welcome again, everyone following the Logan's Hour today. I want to say you are all welcome to the Logan's Hour today. Promise to be a very good one again. I want to say to my brother G Consistent Morris here, my sister Brenny Alpha following as well. You guys are all welcome. My wife, beautiful Princess Samar Hamu, and the tons of other you who following the show today. I want to say thank you for joining this show. Please share the show. Please share the show. And today will be a very good and interesting one. Today going to be a little beautiful as usual because we have tons of other issues to discuss here. Primarily, those of you soccer lover. Today Argentina make it to the World Cup final, and we look forward to seeing Lionel Messi doing his best. I'm a fan of Cristiano Ronaldo, but notwithstanding, I support Messi because of his classical performance. This guy is a real good player. He carried the ball, and he's a good ball carrier. Yeah, and he know how to finish as well. But notwithstanding, I'm a fan of Cristiano Ronaldo, but Messi plays a very good football. And today, Luka Modric, one of my good player too, he had to go home. And Croatia lost to Argentina by 3 goals to 0. Messi scored the first penalty. And tomorrow we have France versus Morocco. And those of you who've been following the trends of football, you know that tomorrow, basically, you can refer it to another way where other people have been saying Africa will be going against Africa tomorrow because the entire France team, I think 90% of the France team, they are all Africans. So we expect to see that tomorrow that Africa will be going against Africa. Morocco, Sis Isabella, welcome. Morocco is the first African team to reach the quarterfinal. And since Portugal is out of the tournament, I'm supporting all of the African teams. And fortunately, I have Morocco who stay in the World Cup. Just that some of the African teams have failed all the time, especially for those African team like Morocco, Tunisia, or Algeria, and the other team. They feels that because they are all white dominant, so they are not in Africa, but now we're standing the demarcation post then in Africa. Sorry, I'm taking a water break. And like let's just hit the ball going. And I want to say to all of you following us tonight, thank you again for joining Logan's Hour. For those of you who following here, Sis Isabella, my dear brother, Pamu. What's up, my dear brother? Thank you for joining Logan's Hour again today. This is where we come to discuss issues of national concerns and community concerns as well. And today, primarily, we will be dealing with the Liberian community. We'll be talking about some of the issues that we are facing right now. And we attended a meeting this gone Saturday, and we're going to discuss what happened in that meeting. And we will discuss the budget that will pass, on what circumstances the budget will pass, and how many that was passed, and what are their projected expectations. We will discuss all of that as well. And those of you who live in the Liberian community and friends with those in administration, if they would love to get by the radio or maybe by the TV to watch it on YouTube, or maybe they want to watch it on Facebook, you can start talking it right now because we're going to discuss this. We're going to discuss the in we'll discuss it to the letters. And for those of you who are now in the meeting and you want to have some privileged information as to what happened in the meeting, you can also join this conversation because this will be a very fascinating conversation tonight. It will be interesting. And to all of you celebrating in the month of December, I want to say happy birthday, happy belated birthday, and also happy pre-birthday. And to those of you who step up to wish my wife happy birthday on the 9th, I want to say thank you so much. And she had her little mini um, birthday dinner. She and her friends, and they have fun. They choose some chicken. If you can see the pictures right there, you know that they were out and they were chewing some chicken. And surprisingly, I was sitting. I wasn't eating because when they kissed me and palm butter and cassava leaf, but um, nothing was there at the time. But what I do in job most is that when Baza men fall in love, they fall in love indeed, and Baza people know how to play love. So if you're looking for someone who really will show you love, look for Baza man. You see Baza man kissing here. Oh, Baza people know love. So there you have it. So when we get back, we will go straight into the topic. Thank you for joining the Logan's Hour again. Say hello, shop move our sister. Then when we come back, we go straight to the topic. Thank you.
Hey, beautiful ladies of Indianapolis. Are you looking for a beauty place where you can buy all your latest human hairs and other beauty accessories? Look no more. The MD Beauty Salon, located at 3429 Kentucky Avenue, is just that right spot for all your beauty needs. At MD's, our customers' satisfaction is our foremost priority. Our staffs are friendly and accommodating. Contact us today on 317-360-2624. MD Beauty Salon, your one-stop shop for all your beauty needs. And hey, ladies, when you get there, tell Mariette that the girl is sexy.
All right, welcome again to the Logan's Hour. Those of you who just joining up, my dear brother David Johnson. You laughing, my man? You know, my man. When Bassa men fall in love, it can be easy, and women who are privileged to get Bassa men, they can enjoy love. So, you saw my little kissing more. Eh? Somebody just sent me text privately. They said, "Damn it, you're kissing more for fun. Look at the kissing more. Yeah. Oh, Bassa man, I want to say you say what?" All right, so let's get to it. Let's get to it. I know some of you never had the time to be at the meeting this gone Saturday at the Liberian Association headquarters downtown, and we're going to discuss what happened in the meeting. It was a emergency meeting, according to the meeting. It said it was a general meeting on Sunday, December 11, 2022. And for those of you who were not privileged to be in the meeting, it's important to be part of this conversation tonight. Probably you can make your contributions if you love to, and just to have few issues of what we'll discuss in the meeting. Because, like I said, well, I know some people will not like what we are about to say here, and some people will like what we are about to say here, and we have everything from the meeting that we will be discussing here. And let me just give this short joke. Don't Nobody should take it serious, right? And it's just a little joke. I was called by someone today, and the person said this to me. They say right by Supple Crossing, where they have that little field right by the park. Little children, and they have a little air control, the BB air controller, and they can take from Walmart and other places. And air control mean little big how they call it? What do I say? Little bigger ball they can pour air in, and people use it in the community and all. Juadolo. So the little children were playing with the ball, and the ball bounces over the yard. You know how the American apartment complexes look like, and the complex is not, the backyard is not too big. So when the children playing, knocking the air ball, and by mistake they knocked the ball went outside the yard, and when the ball bounces outside the yard, the other little ball, he tried to get outside to get a ball, but I think the ball rolled to another car or maybe beyond something else, so he couldn't see the ball. He kept looking for the ball. So his other friend came outside. His friend said, "Why you can't find the ball? Why?" Surprisingly, they saw Anthony Givler coming from behind the other car. Then the other picking jet jumper. He said, "But our boy in the paper share that the paper carry our boy." He tear right and look at the beginning. He said, "You'll be your foot in the meal." That's a nice one. Only veteran know what I just said here. The rest of the other people don't know what's up. But Juadolo following us from rehab. Thank you for joining us, Colombo, Zina, and the rest of the other folks. Colombo, I know maybe you're in Labrador, in America here. I don't know, but welcome and thanks for joining us again. So today, those of you who were privileged to join the meeting on Sunday, uh, at the Labrador headquarter office, which is the 55 South State Avenue, Indianapolis, Indiana 46201, Suite 314. So the meeting will call to order, and the meeting was presided by the vice president. I think there's a communication going out that the president is not present currently, so all activities will be conducted by the vice president. It was posted today by the Secretary General, Mr. Robert Carey. The president, while the president is away, the vice president will step in and serve as the president until the president return. So this gone meeting was presided by the vice president. The meeting was called to order by the vice president, and they had a parliamentarian proceedings, uh, followed by the new parliamentarian. What his name, Mr. Horty Palmo, and the vice president get a state of the association, and the discussion started with the inaugural budget, and the inaugural committee were present, seated up, and followed by financial statement from the financial secretary, and statement from the general secretary. Then later on we have AOB and the other business and adjournment. Then we had a closing prayer. So the meeting was fruitful. Total attendance in that meeting on Sunday. Uh, it was like 38 people who were present at that meeting on Sunday, and we had this budget discussion. Those of you who not on the group chat and don't know what I'm talking about the president travels, this was posted by the Secretary General. If you can see it, I can read that right now. If some of you cannot see it, but I guess everybody can see what I'm talking about. The president will be away for some time, and the vice president would take charge. So that's a official communication. Anyway, I'm not a press secretary. The press secretary will read this communication to the community. If for any reason they will communicate that information. So I'm just telling you the update of your president, because at all times you should know where your president will be and where your president location. So that's why I brought that to you. So the secretary will read that. So let's go to this budget that was passed. So They have here projected income, expenditure, and surplus for the area proposed inaugural budget 2023. So those of you who were privileged and those serving in administration um, that were privileged to be part of this meeting, I know you'll be listening. And I know my brother G, consistent Morris Guo, he's a financial expert. He following probably he at work, but he's a good person who always keep his earpiece in his ear. And during the passage of this budget, he calls me and we had a frank conversation on the phone. And he said to me, well, he had some points to inject into this budget. He said the budget wasn't realistic, but for now, he will give the administration some chance to function. In the nearby future, he will be stepping in to correct some of those things that are not right. But for now, since this is the first budget presented to the community for the inauguration, so he will give them some time to to flow. So here, let's go to the numbers. Let me just post the numbers to some of you who following. I don't know what we are talking about. So let's start from here. So if you can see on the screen, I don't know if everybody can see on the screen and see how it look like on the screen here. So you say here, so the admission attendance. So this is the projection here. So for the admission attendance, they are projecting that the regular people who will attend this program, who will purchase ticket for $30 per piece, will be 350 people. So if 350 people attending this program and purchase the ticket at a rate of $30 per piece, they will be expecting in return $10,500. That's the projection. So this whole entire program that is about to happen, the inaugural program, the committee is saying here that they're anticipating that 350 regular attendants will purchase ticket at a rate of $30 per piece. So when they purchase those tickets at a rate of $30 per piece, 350 people, the community will have $10,500. Then let's go to VIP ticket. They are anticipating that at least 50 persons will purchase VIP ticket at a rate of $50 per piece. So the 50 person who will purchase VIP ticket at a rate of $50 per piece, the community will have $2,500. So that make the total projected number for this program to be 400 people. So the community is expecting 400 people to attend this inaugural program, which of course some people say is unrealistic. Some people say, yeah, it's good looking at the community people seems to be a little happier than ever before after election, and looking at the opposition acceptance to the election results, probably people might come out. And looking at the way baby shower can be packed this time, looking at where the churches can be packed this time, looking at the way house party can be packed this time. Maybe everybody might just show up. And when they show up that so the community say we are expecting 400 people to attend this identical program. So the 50 people is $2,500. And the 350 people who will purchase ticket at the rate of $30 is going to be $10,500. So what it's saying here, from ticket sales, the community will be expecting to make at least $13,000. Those are you following us from Liberia? We are talking about 13,000 United States dollars from this inaugural ball, just on ticket sales. That's why the inaugural committee is projecting here that 350 people will purchase ticket at a rate of $30. That will give them $10,500. And 50 people will purchase ticket at a rate of $50. That will give them $2,500. Then at the end of the day, they will have the total here from ticket sales will be $13,000. The inaugural committee is projecting to make at least $13,000 from ticket sales. Okay, let's go to income total. So now we're still under the projection here. So the income total here, they're talking about $13,000. So go to the expense. So what they want to use for the inaugural program that is coming up here, they want to use $9,650. $50. So those of you who following us here, we are honor the projection. So the community is saying here, if they can get, if the projection just from ticket sale is $13,000, so they're expecting 400 people to attend this program. And when the 400 people attend this program and they are successful, they will have $13,000 from this just ticket sales. And out of the $13,000, what they want to use now, what they are asking the community to approve, or what will approve, it was how many thousand? $9,650. So the budget I would just pass, it was $9,650 was approved. So the committee now is sitting in a real hot zone. What do I mean hot zone? Because the committee have already projected surplus. That one assignment to and read it down. The budget surplus. So the surplus they are projecting here, it says that after this program that they have projected to make $13,000 just from ticket sales, and when you take out the expense, which is $9,650 from in the ticket sales, the community is expected to have $3,350 as their profit, which is the surplus. Mr. Morris Goa, you're a financial expert, so please listen to the numbers carefully so you can say something if you have the time to say something. So the community is saying to us, for the first time after inauguration, the community will have $3,350 as a surplus. So now let's say this, or let's address this $3,350 situation here. So with this community projecting that we will have 400 people who attend this program, 50 of them will be VIP. They will purchase VIP ticket, and 350 of the people will also buy a ticket at a rate of $30. So when everybody attend this program, we have $13,000 from this program. So what the community asked for during this goal meeting, that we want the community to approve a budget of $9,650 to carry on this inaugural program smoothly. And what we are projecting, when all is successful, the community will have a profit of $3,350. But if the community do not meet up with the expectation, which is the 400 people who attend this program, it means the community will fall into losses. Welcome, my dear brother, Mr. Savannah Pele, Fatih Famula, and my sister Villa Duo. So this is the whole sticky issue here. So now the pressure is on the committee. The committee have to make this project or this program attractive as possible to make the 400 people to attend this program. Remember now, this is a new administration. They put people into places that they trust and they believe can do this work. So if this committee is coming up, so this is a new one that we are seeing now, the committee projecting. So it means they have good financial experts, though. I saw Mr. Waddington Draper just sitting there. He's a committee chairperson, and he was elaborating on how to generate this morning, and all the explanation was so beautiful. But the point here is that if the 400 people do not attend this program, we will fall into losses. And when that time comes, you people will be open to scrutinies. So the next projection will not be accepted so easily. So we like the kind of financial reports, and we anticipate them to come up often like this. That we project 400 people to attend the program, $13,500, after you subtract the $9,650 that were voted for, and we have $3,350 to go back in our covers. So we pray that the program goes well. We inviting or we talk to everybody in our community. We talking to our friends and loved ones and community dwellers and everybody who oppose or impose opposition, imposition, and no position. Attend the program. Support your community. Let's see if the community can generate this $3,350 to move this community forward. That would be a good thing to do. But for the committee, in a realistic point, before this $9,650 budget came on the floor for discussions, and we had a motion to vote this budget. There were a whole lot of conversations on the floor, and people had to give their positions on why some of those things were not necessary and why some of them were necessary. And I remember in that meeting, Mr. Savannah Pillay, he stressed the point about security deposit and cleaning fee at a hall. And probably what I noticed is that maybe the hall has their own rules. That you have to put a 500 security deposit down for breakage, and they also have to pay $350 for cleaning fees, the management, just in case if you do not clean. But from what I know, and I have been renting hall, I have been president for the group here for over 3 years, and I know normally when we go to rent a hall, the $500 is in whatever deposit fees that you pay, the security deposit. So if you do not clean, that security deposit also go towards that. So this is a new one. Probably the other hall or Global Village have their own agreement that they actually go through. But however, the budget on Saturday, it was debated, and they had the breakdown of the $9,650. What they say the $9,650 going to be used for. So they said the hall rental for Global Village, just the hall rental is $3,000 to rent the hall. What they're going to have this all important program is $300. Then $500 will be, it's not refundable if a security deposit. So it's refundable if you do the right thing. You do not break anything, you'll get it back. But when there's anything that is destroyed or whatever, and they evaluate the discretion and see that the $500 can face those damages, the community will not get the $500 back. So it's $300 for the whole, and $500 for security deposit, and the food. Let's go to the food. The food here, they are targeting food for 400 people. So the 400 persons here, the food they're targeting here, the total expenditure to face the food for the 400 people is about $2,000 to face the food for the 400 people. And let's go to the drinks. They drink entails everything you can drink: your Savannah Dry, your wine cooler, your Shintao, your Corona, your Guinness. So just the drinks is $1,500 for the drinks, and the decoration of the hall decoration is like $1,000. So those of you who have decorating company and want to be part of this thing to get help your community, you can also show up to decorate. And they have security deposit. Security deposit is intended for two police officers. So the security deposit here is $400. They have for this security deposit. It means the security. Yeah, security. Those are man the people in your place and make sure there's no property destruction. Make sure there's law and order in place. So for two security officers, they have $400. So the service is going to be 8 hours times 25. You got 200 times two-person is $400. So for two security is $400. Then silverware, the plastic plate, spoon, and all the yama we normally use on party. So the silverware is $400 for the silverware they're going to be using for the inaugural program. So this not a small inaugural program though. This is going to be a classical inaugural program because I think this is the first inaugural program that will be using $9,650 for. So you got to know that this is going to be very classic. And I'm calling on Mr. Peter Howard. He's the fashion police. He's going to be there taking people picture, making sure you are well attired, because if we're using $9,000, then mean this is going to be a fashion inauguration. So get ready for that. And DJ and music, the DJ and music is $300. I think that is very small for DJ and music, because if you want a good set, if you want a good music system, you got to pay good money. So I hope we are not just going to get two little speakers and just put in the hall, and we can barely hear ourselves, and probably play. Trust me, if the music is bad, the program is going to be bad. So you need a good PA system. So the community needed to pay good money for PA system, reduce their alcohol money, and put money beyond the PA system to make people dance and enjoy their money. Alcohol, not everybody drink alcohol. I, for one, I don't drink alcohol. So we will drink the soft drink. And I know my guys, anytime here, most of them go with something in the car. So we can reduce that alcohol money. So we have 1,500 for the drinks. You could take the $500 used on a PA system and use the 1,300 for alcohol. Printing. This is a rare printing of souvenir booklet. So it's like $300. So the printing is $300, so they're going to be printing souvenir booklets. So I don't know which printing company are going to be doing that, but I think there are a lot of versatile people in the librarian community who can do all of these things probably free of charge. Or maybe the person might tell you, say, just go to Walmart and buy the ink. I'll produce all of these things free of charge. So we look forward to see those souvenirs booklet that they're going to be printing. So the printing souvenir booklet is $300. So we're going to be printing design flyers and things. So those are $300. Get ready for that. To spend that. So we got the cleaning of the hall, the global village management. So the cleaning of the hall going to be $350, as I stated. So out of $350 on the 500, they're going to get you $850. Out of $850 on $3,000, so they're going to get you $3,850. So the $3,850 is going to be just on the hall alone. So it means we have more emphasis on the hall because we are spending more money on the hall. Because 500 goes to security deposit, $350 go to cleaning up the hall. Then we have $3,000 just for the hall rental. So it means the hall is exhausting almost all of this money here. So we have to make sure to show up to fill that hall. Other than that hall going to look poor and empty, and we're going to regret why we spent all the $3,850 on the hall. So we have miscellaneous here. So we have $400 for miscellaneous. So the total here on all of the expenses that are just broken down here, the total here is $9,650 for everything that was discussed in the meeting on Sunday. So the budget here for your inaugural program, the community going to be using $9,650 on your inaugural program. So this inaugural program is the Librarian People inaugural program. Those of you who were never privileged to be in the meeting, they gone Sunday. This budget was passed by those who were present in the meeting. So present in the meeting, we had 38 people present in the meeting, and total voted for this identical $9,650. They were 27% for this budget to be passed. And those voted against, there were 4 people who voted against. And those of them who abstained were 3 people who abstained. So the total number of people who participated in this process, there were 34 people. And if I remember, so librarian people. So your total budget here is $9,650. Let me know how you feel about this, because I'm going to read this thing over again. I'm going to read it fast. If you have your pen or your paper, if you want to call in during the time of the call session, you can also call in and just chip in your little points if you want to. So for the hall rental, we have $3,000. Security deposit, we have $500. For the food for 400 persons, we have $2,000. For drinks for 400 persons, we have $1,500. For the hall decoration, we have $1,000. For security deposit for 2 police officers, we have $400. And for silverware, we have $400. And for DJ and music, we have $300. And for printing souvenir booklet, we have $300. And the cleaning of the hall, Global Village, we have $350. And miscellaneous, we have $400. There you have it. So your budget for this year, July 26, is $9,650. So those of you following us, $9,650. So that's your budget for this inaugural program. This is first of the come to have $9,650. Maybe it has happened before in the past, but what I do know is I haven't seen this before to use this $9,650 on the inauguration. So as we stated the other day on the show here, as you see, if you see on the screen there, we have the total in the account. We have $51,182.21. So out of the 51,000, we're going to take 9,000 from there to have this inaugural program. So there you have it for the inaugural program. So the budget has been passed. So we have $9,650. The inaugural chairman is Mr. Waddington Draper. If you have more questions, you can also ask Mr. Waddington Draper as to as to what this money will be spent on. And they already gave a broken down here. So we pray that the people in the community show up to this program. Other than that, we will be losing big time. But my recommendation to this committee, the issue that have to do with the music and DJ, $300 for DJ and music, you're gonna get $300 music and DJ. Trust me. Put your mouth to where your money is, or put your mouth to where your money is. Any way you can, take it that way. So there you have it. So we have a communication here from the Secretary General. I don't know if some of you would love for me to just okay. Let me just chip in on this communication. Came from the Secretary General of the Librarian Association of Indiana, Mr. Rabo Kiri. It looks small, but I think I can zoom it. So the Parker administration is in its second week of leadership and like to inform the public that this administration started working immediately after they were inducted into office. The president has made Sarah's appointment by law to help his administration serve the Liberian community of Indiana effectively. All standing committee chairperson and co-chairperson have been appointed, and some other officials from the past administration were relieved from their posts and replaced. There are few other appointments to be made, and as soon those appointments are made, the name of all appointees will be published. The president has traveled out of the country to attend some family business, and the vice president, Mr. Richard P. Boyer Jr., is in charge of the affairs of the association pending the president returns. A formal communication was sent to the board of directors informing them about the president travels. The administration is impressed about the manner in which attendees at the Sunday meeting discuss and critique the inaugural board budget. We thank you for passing the budget, and we are open to constructive criticism at all time. By law, we are in our fiscal year. Our fiscal year runs from December 1 to November 30th. The financial secretary has posted in the chat room means by which you can pay your dues. We encourage all to pay their dues. Signed, Mr. Robert C. Kiri, Secretary General, 12/13/2022. So, thank you so much, Mr. Kiri, for that press release. So, Mr. Kiri said in this press release that the president have made some appointment, and those appointments will be made subsequently published. And I think in the future we need to have a vetting committee. Trust me. I think to have people who will work effectively and efficiently to move this community forward, we need to have a vetting committee to vet some of the people who are going to be appointed by the president or presidents in the future. You know, in area administration, this is why the press people are here. The press people always go to get the information before the president or whoever person get even pull the information up. And we were privileged to have some of the information of the president appointees. And we are not saying this is the final appointees, but we are privileged to have what is being out there. Probably if we just put these out today, the president might go back in his covers and try to renominate some of these people or try to reshuffle them, because some of the appointments I feel make no sense. Some of the appointments are people who we trusted to serve this community, and they walk away from some of these positions, giving some flimsy excuses how they cannot serve their community, and they have other family issues. We feel there's no need that you bring them back into serving the public if they want to take care of family business and other issues. And looking at the qualifications of these people, we are not just going to base it on because you got doctorate degrees or you have master degree or you have BScs or whatever Cs you have. What enable you to be a good public servant is your commitment to what you are ought to do or what you are appointed to do. So if someone who served in a capacity or probably in a secretariat who were mandated to do certain work, and they all they did was to just go to meeting and recall names of people in meetings and do not process it through the regular administrative processing, and now you want to send it to a very higher positions, we think that going to be resisted. We cannot question your judgment, but we will start critiquing you from that point, and we are not going to actually hold you by the eloquences of your speeches, but we're going to hold you by the decisions you will be making going forward, because this community belongs to all and it belongs to every one of us. So we were privileged to have some of the list of the appointments, and we will lay our hands on the rest of them before the day end. And just drop few of those people who the president have appointed so far. We have Mr. Jeremiah Chiet as the Assistant Secretary General. I think the president is creating a new position that is not in our constitution. Our constitution do not speak of Assistant Secretary General. I think the president have to rethink, or we have to go and have a constitutional review or constitutional amendment to add those new positions that have to do with Assistant Secretary General. Because when I received the list of people here, I went back and tried to check the secretariats and check the functions of the secretariats. I saw nothing there as the Assistant Secretary General. So maybe they have a new nomenclature for that. Probably the president will come out and introduce that into his letter with a new name, but it will not be Assistant Secretary General. So we have Ways, Means, and Finance. We have Rose Bayou, Chairman on Ways, Means, and Finance. We've been privileged with that information. So Rose Bayou, Ways, Means, and Finance, and we have the youth chair. We have my dear friend and brother Sasamba. Sasamba have been appointed as the youth chair, and the co-chair to the youth chairperson, we have our sister Bernice Alpha has been appointed as the co-chair to the youth chairperson. Bernice Alpha has been appointed as the co-chair. Then we have the education chairperson, education, I know education and welfare committee or whatever committee. Those other committee that I don't know if it's functional. I remember 3 years on a Rufus Stati administration, we saw non-educational issues. We saw no workshop. We saw that department is dead, period. And we have Sia Pachibo as the education minister or educational person. Then we have the IRC person. I don't know what it's for, Information Research Committee. We have Jima Famule as the IRC chairperson. Jima Famule, IRC chairperson. Then we have EULA representative. Those are will represent the institution to EULA. We have EULA representative. We have two persons here. We have Mr. Jeremiah Saleh, and the second person here we have to EULA representative. We have Mr. Jan Volule. So these two here, I think it has a question mark, because if Mr. Jeremiah Saleh have been appointed as a EULA representative, then I think we know why things happen the way it happened. So we will just leave it as it is. So now, looking at the president appointments so far, because as I stated, right, probably they might go back in the covers and switch things around. But what we have been privileged to lay our hands on is just few of the appointments, and the rest of the appointments will be coming to fall on my decks this evening. We will have few of the other people who has been appointed by the president, co-chair and chair on other committees. Um, but for now, we will deal with what we have here. Oh, Fatima family, you say you are assistant secretary general doing having panel administration. I don't know if it's constitutional. That's what I said. I'm not saying the position cannot exist, but if it's constitutional, because we do not have the constitution or open room for assistant secretary. Because at the time, I know the crafter, they were looking at the size of the community, so that's why they make it that way. So if the community is growing, we can add that as well. George, yes, thank you, said George Darby. George Darby has been appointed on welfare committee, chairman on welfare. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. The person I following here, Mr. Savannah Pili. Thank you so much for that. So George Darby, she has been appointed on the welfare committee. Welfare committee. So, Mr. President, I know these are your initial appointment for now, and you have more to come. But I think to have these people working effectively and efficiently, you have to give them their TOR. Mr. Ernie Madison, we for here, man. So this is the inclusion we just spoke about. That hey, all right. So you see, one thing about the thing, so you bring it kind of thing or it come up. So Mr. What his name? Abba Maluba, co-chairman, Information Research Committee. Abba Maluba, co-chairman, IRC. You see that? So we have Jima Famule, the chairperson on IRC. Then we have Albert Maluba, the co-chairman. Then we have James Balakaba, co-chair on Ways and Means. Oh my God, the information just keep popping up. You see, this is why we like the Logan's hour. Information just keep popping up. Thank you so much for that, my dear brother. Thank you so much. So, Mr. President, we are already in your office. We are giving your appointments before you can make those appointments. And we think that is bad for administration, that your people will not keep your secret. And before you can make announcement popular, we already have it. That's why when you have the media in the community, you have to be a little more careful as to how you structure your administrations. So we have these people here. Before the appointment can come up, we will start critiquing some of them, and we will root the bad ones out, and we will keep the good ones, and we will praise some of the appointment here, because I can rest assure you some of the appointments are all okay, but some of them they are not. They are not. And they want to have to do with my dear brother and friend, Mr. Jeremiah Sele. I don't think so. I don't think so. Uh, I think Mr. Sele is not taking that position, because if Mr. Sele take that position, then we'll know why Mr. Sele proceeded the way he proceeded. And we don't want to open old wounds. We just want it to remain as it is since the election is over. Let's focus on how we can move the community forward. So they got something they call optics. So we hope that's not truth. And we want everybody to be in for the community and not to start going on the contrary as soon as possible. Yep. So James Balakabat, co-chair on Ways, Means, and Finance. Thank you, my dear brother. So thanks to Mr. Balakaba for stepping up to serve his community. So let's name some of the people again who have been uh, uh, appointed so far. So we have the Assistant Secretary General. We have Mr. Jeremiah Chie, which of course he's overly qualified. But I think that's a misplacement. Mr. Jeremiah Chie should have worked with the IRC. He should have been the IRC chairperson. So then with the IRC chairperson will work under Mr. Robert Kiri directly, then we will have better information for our community. But Notwithstanding, it's the president's decision. It's the prerogative of the president. You cannot question the president. But Mr. Jeremiah Chia will going to be the very best person to work as the IRC chairperson, because looking at Mr. Rawakiri to have his secretary general, Mr. Rawakiri already he led to carry his own glory. Then imagine you have a secretary general, my dear brother Satya A. Satya. You're going to be a fight in a secretariat. I can rest assure you. Then the Ways Means and Finance chairperson is Rose Bayou. Ways Means Finance Rose Bayou. Then the co-chair to the Ways Means Finance is Mr. James Barakaba. And the youth chairperson, we have Mr. Sabangila as the youth chairperson. And we have the co-chair, the youth co-chairperson. We have our dear sister, Bernice Alpha, perfect appointment. Bernice Alpha, she will attract the young people. Bernice Alpha, the youth co-chairperson. And we have the education chairperson. We have our sister, Sia Pachibo. Sia Pachibo is the education chairperson. And we have the IRC chairperson. We have Jima Famule. We have Jima Famule, the IRC chairperson. And we have the EULA representatives. That's where I got issue with the two candidates. We have Mr. Jeremiah Saleh, and we have Mr. Jan Volule, which of course I know the president will retain, because I think the fight will start on the two appointments. And we are not saying anything, but we're just saying that's where the real fight will start from if this appointment is made public. And we had a welfare committee, the chairperson, George Darby. George Darby, welfare committee chairperson. I think some of you know George, or some of you have seen her, but of late, she was I know Fatima is Sasamba, the youth chairperson. I said that. Mr. Sasamba. Yeah. I'm aware. The information I get, Fatima, I'm privileged. This is a privileged information I'm giving you here. It's accurate. Except to prove me wrong, the president got to go back in his covers and call his cabinet and say, "Oh, the man I thought they won't got to change it one. The man I thought they won't got to change it one." Other than that, the names I'm calling here is the name that going to come out in the public when the president makes his appointment published. So it is a secret, though. It hasn't come out yet. So don't say it's not a secret. It is a secret. You listen to the communication I just read here from the secretariat. The president hasn't made it published. The president stay keeping it till he returns. And we are in the press. We are privileged to have this information. That's why it shows that the community is growing, that we have two information bureau here that you can find the open table now, and you find the Logan's hour. So the community is privileged to have some privileged information before it come up. So these are leaks information that we are saying here. So we are hoping, we are hoping, we are hoping that this appointment to Eula, it was a dream. We will put our neck on the chopping board. We are hoping that it's a dream. Welfare Committee, George Darby. IRC Committee, Albert Modiba. Albert Modiba, that's a good one. Albert Modiba, he's a very young, fine gentleman. He after the election, Albert, the election brought him up, but he's a private person. He like to do his things solo. So right after the election, I think he left the group chat and decided to live his private life again. But bringing him as IRC person, that's a good appointment. Working along with Jima Famula, well, that sounds good. Jima is a lawyer, but I don't know her research ability as well. So let's see that. But I think the person are going to be preferable to serve in that position, and we're going to be Jeremiah Chia. But however, it's the president prerogatives. Me say Sa Bangida Sa Samba. Say my dear brother, Sa Wenda Samba, the youth chair. Sa Samba. Oh, okay, I see why Fatima kept correcting me. Fatima, you are right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm talking about Sa Samba. Sa Wenda Samba. All right. Okay, I said Sa Bangila. Oh, you're right, Fatima. Hey, Fatima. Hey, you're labyrinth. You're too sensitive. What thing you're bringing your sister down again? I said, I don't know her research ability. She's a lawyer. So what's the big deal? I'm talking about people who I've seen that I know. Mr. Jeremiah Saleh, Mr. Jeremiah Chie, He's the right fit. He's the person who will be committed to his community. Your sister's a lawyer. She have other clientele, so she'll be busy with her work. So I'm not bringing her down in any way and fashion. By the way, Jima is my friend, though. We got a good cordial relationship. So don't think I'm bringing her down in any way and fashion. I cannot do that. And moreover, this is a public appointment. This is about a community. So all the appointees here, we will critique them. Even you, Fatima, the time will come for you. You know that one will do it. So the co-chair on Ways and Means, Mr. Balakaba, I think that's a good one. Balakaba, he loved to have these web parties and things. And Ways and Means, those are the people that attract the fundings to bring to the institution. So I can say Balakaba working along with Rose Bayou. Um, uh, Fatima, not everybody that accept the job can be passionately about the job. It's different. I understand. She accepted, fine. Everybody here, the president appointed, they have accepted. Those that haven't accepted or those that never accepted, I have the list of people who rejected as well. I'm not going to call their names because if they reject those positions, they say, well, we want to live in the community, they will vote for you, but want to be quiet about how we go on with our thing. They have the right. I can mention their name here. But if your sister accept that, then you just got to cultivate your emotions because we will critique her here. With all her degree in law, ain't mean anything. That's how they got Fox News. They got CNN. They got BBC. So people can critique popular officials. If a sister don't want people call her name, she don't want to be critiqued, then she get a people job back. I remember when I stepped up to become president of the community, my name was called in all kind of fashion. And I accepted because I step up. So my name and everything I have in my closet could be discussed. So if you want anybody to call your sister name, to not go to hotel, say, Jima, get a put job out because they put and start calling your name. I heard your name on Logan's out. Fatima family, in your feelings, go sleep, baby. Go sleep. So we will be right back. When we come back, we'll go through some other issues. So stick and still, don't give up. We are on the Logan's Hour tonight. All right, thank you again for joining Logan's Hour. You know, it's fun beyond the microphone. Trust me, when you're beyond the microphone, it's actually fun. And you have to like it to be here. My dear brother Jojo and my dear brother Ivan Jivan Smith, welcome to the Logan's Hour. To be beyond this microphone, you have to be willing to accept whatever comes. But notwithstanding, those of you who never had the privileged information, the community have passed a budget of $9,650. They asked the inaugural budget. So get ready. The community will be spending $9,550 for this coming inauguration in January. So what it will be spending money on, they're going to be spending $300 on the hall rental, $500 on security deposit, $2,000 on food, 1,500 on drinks, $1,000 for hall decoration, $400 for 2 police officers, $400 for silverware, $300 for DJ, $300 for printing and souvenir materials, $350 to clean the hall, and $400 for miscellaneous. So those of you following us, those of you who privileged to get all this information, if you want to call tonight and participate, you can also call. The number here is 401 359-5072 because we have been here for an hour now. So we're going to take at least 4 calls if you want to be part of this conversation tonight. What do you make of the appointments, and what do you make of the budget, $9,650 for the inauguration coming up? And the appointment made so far by Mr. Julius Parker, President elect of the Liberian Association of Indiana. We have Mr. Jeremiah Chie. He was appointed as the Assistant Secretary General. We have Rose Bayou. She was appointed as the Ways, Means, and Finance Chairperson. And we have Mr. Sasamba. He was appointed as the Youth Chair. We have our sister Bernie Alpha. She was appointed as the youth co-chair. We have our sister Sia Pachibo. She was appointed as the education chair. We have our sister Jima Family. She was appointed as the information research committee chairperson. We have our sister Joyce Darby. She was appointed as the welfare chairperson. And we have our brother Abat Moluba. He was appointed as the co-chair on the RRC, Information Research Committee. He was appointed as the co-chair. And we have our dear brother and friend, Barakaba. He was appointed as the co-chair on Ways, Means, and Finance. And we have representatives to EULA. They have 2 people right now, but it's question mark. We have Mr. Jeremiah Slay. He was appointed as representative to EULA. And we have Mr. Jan Volule. He was appointed to as one of the co-chair. And we have another privileged information who where we just going to put that up, but you can verify that later on when the president appoint. So the current board, the attorney will be expiring soon because they are appointed for 4 years. And now we have just a second, my brother, I can put you on. Now, the current board will be expiring soon. So we have somebody who is vying for that board chair position, but we will not call the name right now. But if you know, you know. We know how many people want to be on that board. So we were privileged to know that Mr. Weddington Dripper is wanting to be the board chair currently. So those are privileged information that reaching you right now. That's why it's important, and it's a privilege to have media institution in our community. So we have one of our brothers on the line. So let's hear from this caller, then we will get back to you shortly. My dear brother, how are you?
Abu, how you doing?
I'm doing
My
perfectly
brother.
well. You are on the
Uh,
Logan's hour.
Thank you very much. My name is Maurice. Welcome to G's Consistent.
Thank
I
you.
want to say thank you very much for the show. Keep it up. Don't feel discouraged. Keep it up the good work because people will be wishing to hear you and give information out that will help our community. As I said, in our group chat that I will remain quiet for now and give the people their chance so they can do what they can do because you see, knowledge is very expensive. So, especially my career, which is accounting, I decided to keep quiet for now because sometimes when you giving your knowledge out, people feel that you just want to give it out. Free things don't have no respect. If you give it all free, you have no respect. People devalue it. So as I said in our group chat, that I will remain quiet. That budget, I know certain people from the camp or from the community. I already noticed that there are some problem in that budget. And based on my experience and based on my background in accounting and economics, I have a lot of things to discuss both accounting and economics because if you're discussing budget, you're discussing both accounting and economics.
Yeah.
But I said I will keep it cool for now because I just called to make it public because me I don't talk behind door and don't say outside door or something. So you call my name, you say I should make
Yeah.
info or what. Yeah. I appreciate you for that. I appreciate you for that. That's why I call honesty and fairness. That we're not here to to be doing cow thing where you be be behind the door or be behind the fence and be talking and you never to talk in front of people. So I just want to say thank you, keep out the good work, that keep it going. This is a new administration. I know they will have challenges, and they will have some. Yeah, I will just give my advice that they must be willing to accept criticism, and they must be fast to listen and slow to speak, because sometimes people will step on your toes. Somebody, especially Fatima, I think she listening. Fatima, you gotta be slow to speak out. When people say certain things, you just gotta keep silent and lead them, especially on Logan show or what have you. Don't any little thing you reply to. Leave it as it is. Let people speak their mind, and begin to listen. And from there you can learn so many things. That's how people learn. It's good to listen. For me, I listen, I talk. My listening can be so deep in the sense that I know where to talk, I know where not to talk. So I just
Mr. Goa, before you leave, what do you make of the appointments that we just listed here just now? Mr. Jeremiah Chie, uh, Assistant Secretary General, Ways and Means, Rose Bayou, Youth Chair, Sasamba, Co-Youth Chair, Brenny Afa, Education Chair, Sia Pajibo, IRC, Jima Famule, Youth Representative, Jeremiah Sele and Jan Volule, Welfare Committee, George Darby Chair, IRC, Co-Chair, Abba Moba, and Co-Chair, Ways and Means and Finance, Mr. Bala Kaba. What do you make of the appointment by the President?
first I want to say thank you, Mr. Parker, for giving the opportunity to our brothers and sisters to serve their community. But you see, having a position or having a title is one thing, and doing a job is another thing. Especially this is the free the free job, free service that people trying to run on that community. If you decide to take the position, if you decide to serve your community, you should do it with passion, because there is no small position. Every position you take, there'll be a responsibility come with it. Don't say because I get a tattoo, so I just want to blow with a tattoo, or I just want to be part of the administration, or be part of the community where I say, Mr. This, that. It comes with a lot of responsibility that tomorrow people will question your ability.
Yeah.
So what I see in the appointment is, for now, people, I feel position is there that I feel that people should look at our conscience and look at our integrity and begin to dress bad, because the community is watching. Election just over. We know what all went. We know what you went. We know what happened. For me, I know what happened. So I decided not to say everything out, because sometimes in order to maintain peace, in order to maintain your respect, you gotta swallow a lot of bitterness. You gotta a lot of bitter pills, because you want your respect to be maintained. So that's why we remain quiet, but we know what went on during the election. So as for me, any position is good. Like Bala, I will appreciate Bala for coming out to serve the community now, because when he lost the election, 2019, when he lost, he began to quit the community, he began to avoid the community. And that was the one thing I called him. I met him several times. I said, what's your vision to the community, regarding the young people? And he must say, now he decided to come out and serve the community. I'm appreciating for that. I know that because right now you see Paco is the best person that you think that you can work with. And it's people trust. It's people will. So we gotta respect their will, we gotta respect their trust they make in life. Because so who else have to be mindful with our conscience, how we do things, because history will always follow us. Whatever we do, whatever choices we make, whatever decision we make, history will judge us tomorrow. That's why you don't just make decision because you feel that you're friendly with a person. And the other, like my dear brother, Jeremiah Chie, I might appreciate Jeremiah Chie. It takes courage to just come in the community and begin to come out. Yeah. There are a lot of people been here for 20 years, 15 years. They have never come out in the community. They just remain silent. But Jeremiah Chie came in. I appreciate him for that. I told you one time, Jeremiah Chie, this is why when Kina did the same thing. When I just came in the community, I keep out. I stay out. I appreciate Jeremiah for that. Hey, I appreciate all of them. But I just say, I said the position and people take not be ready to, to take responsibility. And the other position, other people must sit down and think and judge that and begin to say, hey, no man, this is not a red time, but indeed. Some people just want a tattoo, they want a visual. So sometimes people will just take it. So my dear brother, the position, somebody is good, somebody is very good. I'm not here to talk about the bad side.
All
I'm
right,
here to talk about the good side.
so Mr. Goa, I'm glad that you're here. So let's go to the Constitution because in the early Constitution, Article 5, Section 2.4 talks about the board of directors. The board of directors should consist of 5 persons or 5 members appointed by the president, and each of them should serve for 4-year terms. And looking at it constitutionally, hopefully next year, the current board of directors, the tenure will be expired and they will be leaving. The president will be privileged to appoint new board members. What do you make of the names that are popping up? Wellington Draper, Thomas Wula. What do you make of these people serving as board chair coming in the future?
Uh, Thank you for that great question. That is one of the things that before we went into the elections, I told people, I said, I when Paco wins, we will have the men, our father, I can say our father association because they are the men, Labor Men Association. Mm-hmm. I told them, I said, these are the same people who come back into power. I told them, me, I don't buy and blow. I said, these people will come back. As much as they come to the board or what have you, trust me, no young people. When young, I challenge Paco right now. I challenge Paco to make young men a board chairman on that committee, the board chair. I challenge Paco.
No, the board members will appoint their own chair because okay. The board shall appoint its own chair, secretary, and other officers.
Yeah. Because so the president has influence.
Yeah, the president can appoint all the board members and they go to the meeting and they appoint their chairperson.
Yes. Because the president has the influence to say, hey, this is the chairman, and this is the person I want to be chairman because this is the administration. This is Paco administration. He has the power. They will go do the election, what have you beyond do everything. But Paco should also push to make young person as chairman on a board. Look, let our elder there, our father there see what the young people can do. Man, you see what I've brought something today? Because our father don't want to give the children the chance. I don't know why. We also call generation change. When generation go, generation come. All the time will be having other people serving on a bowl. That's a wrong. I challenge Paco. I challenge all those that will go on our committee, on our chair, on our board committee, or what have you. They must see reason to appoint young person. So, Mr. Jobe or Wula, Thomas Wula, the band in this community, the band serving on various positions. Let them give the young people some chance so they can perform at least. So tomorrow they can be proud. There are certain things that in left when you give your children or your son or your child a chance to do certain things and that child do it, you will take the glory. It's not the child or your children will take the glory. It's you, the father, will take the glory. So they need to set the foundation and leave it with the young people so they can take the glory. So that's my only suggestion, and I hope Mr. Paco is listening. I hope some people are in a camp or in a surrounding like David Koti. I can call it David Koti, which is Feda, friends to all the president. The man friends to all the presidents. So I call him David Koti. I hope Mr. Koti is listening. Mr. David Koti is listening, that you will tell Paco, say, no, that trust of young people. He get a lot of young people. He can appoint some women there. You get a sister here. Appoint somebody there. Appoint some of the women there so they can do some job, bro. Thank you very much, dear brother.
Thank you so much. That was the voice of the tough talking, Maurice Goua. Maurice Goua, thank you for calling. And Jeremiah, I'm about to climax. You can just call in. I already won 19. My dear brother, just call in quick. Jeremiah, sorry, my man. I'm about to end the show now. Yeah. Oh, Jeremiah one kind in Pele, one kind in. So let me come make the show hot small. Okay. Jeremiah, send a link to you and Pele. That's a good one. Let you add some flavor to the show right now. I send a link to Jeremiah Jeremiah Chie and Savannah Pele. So Savannah Pele coming in. Mr. Savannah Pele been in the community for some time, and he one of the pioneers here. So he will tell us more about these positions and the candidates that have been appointed to these positions, if they are the right choice for the position. So those of you who thought this show was just ending, we are about to add some juice to it. So let me see. There's a comment coming from my brother here. My brother Jojo. Jojo said, for this administration to raise such money for the upcoming inauguration, I would like to advise them to carry out massive awareness and publicity for people to turn out in their numbers to achieve such estimated budget. Other than that, I foresee a low turnout and we might run into budget deficit. The man by the central bank man in there. So when the man speaking, you know what he's speaking. The man never work in the final session on summer 12. So when the man talking about budget deficit, you might know what he talking about. Rose Bayou, if you got issue with your brother Morris Gua, call him. You deal with AI Mama because me, I just the messenger here. So I'm bringing in Mr. Savannah Pele right now. You all know the tough talking Mr. Savannah Pele. He's gonna be here. Then I'm bringing in the tough talking uh 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 I'm bringing people who can talk. So yeah, relax. I'm bringing Mr. Jeremiah Chie right now. I sending the link to Mr. Jeremiah Chie, Mr. Savannah Pele, and my dear brother Didier. I send a link to Didier as well. Fatima found out if you want a link, I can send a link to you. Let me show how to that. Hey, I want to talk. We'll talk. And one person that won my admiration in this town. Let me be honest with everybody here. Here myself, we went to the same school back in the days. Jeremiah Chie. We went to Cathedral. Bernard Bobler, myself, and the rest of Thomas B. and Ketripo were in the same class. Jeremiah Chia and the rest of the other people were upstairs in the 10-1. We were in 10-2 downstairs. The ball loved talking. You were on the press team. Bernard Bobler on the press team as well. And Jeremiah Chia came to this community. He never shy away. And I admire him so much. And even they after the election and going through all the transitional processes, Jeremiah Chia stay involved. And even when you call him on your show or whatever show, he's open to discuss the issues. So I love. You want to just know what you have behind you? How you doing, my dear brother? What's up? Yes, please. Jeremiah, check your message. I sent you the link. Yeah, if you love to join us, I already sent you the link too. Let's talk about the appointments. Let's talk about the budget. Mr. Panapele, how are you today?
I'm doing good.
Okay, now you following the show, you know that's the man, Mr. Savannah Spillet, the man who do not shy away, the man who can just bring it as it is. You already know him. He's no stranger. He need no further introduction. But just for respect's sake, we'll give him a chance to say hello. Mr. Savannah Pele, the floor is yours.
Hello to all. I was just following your show, and I thought it wise that I can come in and contribute my own or make my own input to the unfolding development of issues that we are now faced with. So I'm here to throw some lights on some of those appointments and to explain in furtherance how it ought to be. That's why I'm here.
Thank you so much, my dear brother. So Chocopi Johnson Rose Bayou. The man you talking about here, the man talking about deficit, the man make a very salient point. And it's clear here. Just read the man point. The man saying to you here, for this administration to raise such money for the upcoming inauguration, I would like to advise them to carry out massive awareness and publicity for people to turn out in their numbers to achieve such estimated budget. Other than that, he foresee deficit. So what's the big deal? He's not saying anything against you. So trust me, he's a seasoned person, man. Respect him. Put some respect on in that when laying accounting and know the numbers. They see me won't be helping Fatima here tomorrow and all. They won't be they respecting it, man. He did Jojo that smart man. Ah, yaga. Yo no. Sabu here no kiss me bell. But dear brother Jerry, what's up? Can't wait not do it fit. Yeah, the way you come and yeah, coming for you. What's up? Where you at today? You home or you in the gym?
I just got you.
Oh, he just got you. Okay. Anyway, Mr. Pele, let's start with you first. So Jerry and Savannah Pele on the show here. They need no further introduction. Some of you already know Jerry. Jerry served as the press secretary, the man who came into the community and stole the show from us. But notwithstanding, we will bounce back. So, Vanessa, let's hear from you. We just read a name of list of people who were appointed by the president that we are privileged to lay our hands on, except the president go by and change these names that we have currently. But as it stands, if all things remain the same, these names will surface in the public so soon. And the budget of $9,650 for the inauguration, and I read the issues that they itemize here. They say the hall rental is $300, security deposit is $500. Hall rental is $3,000, security deposit is $500. Food $2,000. Drinks $1,500 for 400 people. Hall decoration $1,000. Security for two police. Let me say. Security for two police officers is $400, and silverware $400. DJ $300. The printing of the programs and everything is $300, and cleaning of the hall is $350. The miscellaneous is $4,000. The total budget for the inauguration came out to $9,650. What do you make of those issues tonight?
Uh, for me, I was in the meeting
Okay.
and I voted against the passage of the budget. First and foremost, because there were so many things that they needed to go back and look through and look at in depth.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you saying that you want to spend 1,500 on drinks,
Mm-hmm.
but then you want to spend 300 on DJ or the entertainment aspect of the
Mm-hmm.
entire event.
Mm-hmm.
I see it to be a poor insight. A poor insight in the sense that
Mm-hmm.
the hall you're trying to rent, if the hall is filled up with capacity, you would need to have better sound system to do the coverage. And $300 won't cut the cost of you having speakers like 2,000 watts each that will make the sound output to be better. And if you're giving a DJ 300 to move speakers that is almost like 150 or 75 pounds each into the hall,
Mm-hmm.
then I think you're only paying the DJ for the labor cost of moving the equipment or renting the equipment. You're not paying him for his services he's going to offer. So they need to go. I wanted them to go back and rethink that. Then you writing a budget, you're saying miscellaneous expense is 400.
Mm-hmm.
We know that when it comes to miscellaneous, in this kind of form, in other form, it will be referred to as administrative cost, which should be 10% of the entire amount that you will add on
Mm-hmm.
to the entire cost. So I saw that to be frivolous because they could have done better in attacking some of these issues that is arising now with DJ costs and that of other externalities.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I concord with Jojo statements about mass publication
Yep.
because you're talking about getting 400 persons in attendance to be able to raise the projected amount of 12,950.
Mm-hmm.
Thus, if we remove the $9,650 out, would be left with 3,300 as the projected profit.
Mm-hmm.
So everything here is projection, it's predication. You're predicting that people will turn out for you to have that amount. But we know from the past and being analytical,
Mm-hmm.
you may not even have half of that amount, or you may have little more than half to attend the entire activities. So my position of voting against the budget was for them to do us due diligence, to go back to the drawing board and sit after due consultation and come back to the assembly with something that is tangible, not something that is hearsay. Because at the end of the day, they will be blamed. They will be blamed. Y'all say y'all could do this, but you people didn't do it. And this is a non-for-profit organization. We cannot keep pumping money out there that is not geared towards service or service oriented for the people. So if you're saying that we should always have a big galore
Mm-hmm.
after election, and you always call emergency meeting just to pass budget.
Mm-hmm.
Robert Kerry's statement he posted today, he said from the day they were inducted, they started working. Now, if you started working from the day you were inducted or before you ascended to leadership, you should have had a plan of activities. This shouldn't have been an emergency meeting. This should have been referred to as your regular meeting, first regular meeting, where you introducing the leadership to the people, but then you also asking the people to look into your budgetary analysis and come back at the next meeting where people will
Okay.
give their views, give their input, and you come say, oh, can we pass this based off this, based off that? That's my take on the whole thing.
All right. So that's your take on the budget. And now we have with us here, we have the assistant secretary general. We're privileged with that information. So I don't care how you smile, I got the information. Let you for you, Mr. Jeremiah Chi.
Well, thank you, Philip. As it relates to the information you gathered on the president proposed appointments,
Mm-hmm.
um, I can't speak to that because I'm not close with that responsibility yet, because he has
Okay.
not left the office of the president or the secretary general's office, so I cannot speak to that. But what I'm about to speak to is the fact that I'm also a member of the inaugural committee, and I'm going to go straight to the point on the point that Jojo stressed. I read
Okay.
his comment, and his comment
Mm-hmm.
is very, very important about the publicity. And
Mm-hmm.
that's where my part comes in.
Mm-hmm.
And on the issue of publicity, we wouldn't have been doing publicity without the total projection of what the budget will look like or seem like if it had not been brought to the public's attention for approval. Now that we have the green light,
Mm-hmm.
there's going to be a lot of publicity. Even on your show, we will ask for permission to do that on your show at a certain time, and as
Mm-hmm.
well as open table and also issue flyers to the community. And I heard my brother in studio talking about the issue of the DJ. Since my advent to this community, I've observed several people who play music here. And
Mm-hmm.
there are people who play music and there are people who know how to play music.
Mm-hmm.
And on our committee, we have discussions on who the DJ is going to be, because the DJ is either going to make this party alike or is going to push the party off. So
Mm-hmm.
we heard several suggestions, and I stressed the need for them to bring in somebody with the needed equipment to occupy the room space of the global village. And
Mm-hmm.
there were names on the table, the notable names of people playing music in the community that people know, that we all know. And there are certain suggestions that was proffered, and there were amounts. So the $300 you see on the budget there, the proposed budget, it was like you make an allotment, and you also have to take into consideration certain things that other things will come in.
Mm-hmm.
That the original cost and the charge for that DJ was astronomical. It was something in the neighborhood of $600. And we know the person is a professional. So we decided to negotiate with the person. So we're not taking all the money off the coffers of the association to pay the DJ. Some of those monies will be outsourced because we know we are stressed that the two options that we came down to were what the other guy, Kelvin,
Mm-hmm.
Kelvin, Tony Nimland, and Ernest Madison. So I was like, I made a suggestion. I said, okay, why don't we continue to negotiate with Mr. Madison and see how best we can convince him? This is not sometimes about money that much, but it's also about the respect and other things. We could pair the both, or we could go for the best. And we suggested that we go and continue negotiation with Mr. Ernest Madison, and that's what we did. And negotiations are still ongoing to see how best we can suitably arrange amount that doesn't bring disrespect to this person, but also the person will be able to provide service for our community. That's what we did. And people club without responsibility have also been engaged in negotiating with the gentleman. So that on the issue of the music and the sound system of that program, there's no
Mm-hmm.
ifs and buts. It will be okay. It will be okay because we are going with who we know is going to do the job. That will be amazing for our people, and we also have backups. So on the next thing, people continue to talk about the budget. I think the budget in itself, in its people will say, "Oh, this is the first time it has reached this point." But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you take the whole rental, for instance, the whole rental from there, you take some 3,000 and change from there. What you
Mm-hmm.
be left with the regular 6,000 or something. And one thing I want to caution the community is this: we are also engaging with the community and as well as going and trading our mark on the old regime. This global village was a place proposed to us by the outgoing president, Mr.
Okay.
Tati. He said, okay, these are the people we used to use, and there's a discount, and we want you to go through these people. So we didn't do things on our own, like you just jump up and say, okay, we want to turn all the stones around, and you want to do your own thing. So we went, as per his recommendation, the people negotiated, and they came up with what they came up with, and we are still in the process. I mean, people complaining about security deposit and cleaning. Cleaning fees and security deposit are two different things. If you do security deposit, maybe something will go wrong there. We don't pray for that. And the people will
Mm-hmm.
have to withhold your money until you can settle certain things. On the aspect of cleaning, we all know we are going to be dressed that day. So there can be no way somebody will take on a coat and go and start cleaning it because we don't even know the state of affairs will be in after 2 a.m. in the morning. So you can't be cleaning at that time. So whatever projections that were made for the cleaning process will go towards that process. That's why we've been telling the people. I don't know whether you want me to speak on the issue of the appointments of
You
the
say
permanent.
for now you don't know anything about the appointment, so I just don't want to
No,
indict you
because
so early.
listen, you can't indict me because my name was mentioned in
Okay,
correlation
go ahead.
to
Go ahead. Go
my name
ahead.
was mentioned in correlation to a system, and I would like to
Oh,
tell the
okay.
Logans hour that on the issue of me being appointed as Assistant Secretary General for the administration,
Mm-hmm.
um, it's still in the works, and I heard you also alluded to the fact that I would have been the best person for the job of the
RSC
information or resource
research.
person.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, commission. But I think also we can be squabbling on serving our community.
It's
I
true.
think the person that has been opted to go and serve that in that capacity is a professional. She's a
Mm-hmm.
professional sister. I
Mm-hmm.
respect her a whole lot. I think research, lawyers do a lot of research, so I think she will have no qualms in doing research related matters. And I think that where we all come in as a community to help our community to grow. If
Mm-hmm.
she's going to be doing stuff like helping us in doing some research along with even Lieutenant Abbott, that's a great team. I can work with anything. My own point of view in the whole government is just to serve. Whether you tell me I'm gonna be a super adult, no problem. We just want to serve the community to make sure the community and everything gets out the way we want it to be.
All right, thank you for that. So before I get to Mrs. Savannah Pillay, you see, like even the current government now of their His Excellency President George Manawia. He have Bwaka Fofana and the other guy, the information ministry. That you can look at them, both of them, you know that both of them they are misplaced because one of them he took the technical person and put the technical person to public affairs. Then he took the public affairs person and put him to technical services. Now it's causing a lot of problem. The president traveled to America, then you have to bring the technical person and leaving the public affairs person back. That's what I'm saying here. Because you need people who will, you see, when you're working in a fields and you're happy doing it, you can say, yeah, I'm enjoying the work. Like for you right now, if we have a position that say information and public affairs or something like that, and they say Jeremiah Chia is appointed as the public affairs person for the administration, even the opposition will go have party and be clapping and say, yeah, we'll get somebody that will come back all like crazy. Because
Yeah, but I'm not putting on Mr. Logan, but
yeah,
from my own issue, the facility in a person has a lot to do with the way they carry themselves. When
it's
you
true.
come to security, we will perform. You come to banking, we will perform. You come to information and research, we will still perform. So those are just few of the attributes that we are club with responsibility to do. But now, if somebody has been given that opportunity, we clap for them. We stand in the back and make sure we help this person succeed so that the administration doesn't fail.
It's
That's
true.
what we need everybody on board.
It's true. Everybody will be on board, but notwithstanding, we will stay critique where it is necessary and we praise where it is necessary.
Sure.
Yeah. Mr. Savannah, please go ahead.
Yeah, I just want Jamal Chia to understand one thing. I think the brother critique or criticism stems from where the constitution did not provide us to have any assistant secretary, for which we know that you are appointed to. Whether you accept or not, that will leave it into the air. But the constitution, the way how it is structured, they when Sia Fala Brown was president for LAI, we had Chokon Bayu as the RRC chair, and we had Vani Kamo, Vani Jula Kamo as the secretary of LAI. And Vani Kamo was one of the person who also wrote this new constitution that we are now working with. What we have been seeing is that the RRC chairperson that worked directly with the secretariat, and the head of the secretariat is the general secretary. So the RRC chair by function serve as the assistant secretary. No doubt. Until we can go back and amend this constitution, then we won't have no qualms with you being appointed as assistant secretary. That's where people contentions are coming from.
Well,
No, you can just hijack. You can just jump.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So constitutionally,
Mhm.
the position you have been appointed to is not recognized or it's not legal under our organic law. So what I think Philip was saying is that based on what you are capable of and what you've been doing, you have better served in that position as RRC chair. He's not saying that they should go back and appoint you as RRC chair. He's not also saying that they should remove the young sister Jima from the position. Well, he was just throwing light, and for which I just came out to explain to him that look, the RRC chairperson, according to our structure, according to our constitution, is the assistant secretary general for the institution. That's how it should be
Okay.
by function.
So
To arrest.
okay. Okay.
Mhm.
So on our jurisprudence, and understand that you're trying to make us understand that that's the ideal function of the IRC. But whereas we've heard criticism in the past, like when another brother was Secretary General, he alone was there, and then after he left, people complained that there wasn't a structure in place to at least back up the system. People still complain up to this day. So Mr. Kerry and others in the administration saw the need to bring proactive people, because remember, we are talking about a whole secretariat. We are not talking about secretary. He's the secretary general, but we are talking about whole secretariat. And that secretariat implicates every other working person there, whether it's the media person, whether it's the person who in form of videography and all different things. There's a whole bunch of things that people can do in the secretariat. So, I mean, I wouldn't have qualm if the president makes somebody the information research person and I become assistant secretary general. The issue is to serve. And I think the president was right in his knowledge to do those appointments, though I cannot confirm nor deny that they exist. But the president was in his best structure of his mind to make sure that he bring light to the table that our organization deserves what it deserves now.
Okay, accordingly, I know you spoke well about the president was in his right mind. We all know he's in his right mind, but his right mind is not right with the Constitution. So, to further explain to you what I was saying, normally our Constitution tells us that the president must appoint all committees chair. The committee's chair should rally its members. You just rightly put it that the secretariat comprises of so many other individuals or so many other talented people to serve in a secretariat. And the head of the secretariat, according to the Constitution, is the general secretary. So now, where it comes in of you being assistant secretary, that your functions will not come in conflict with the general secretary. And to further explain, to further explain, you said all things right. You said all things right. So the IRC there is the Information Research Committee. The Information Research Committee comprises of all those good people you were speaking of that will be part of that unit. But the IRC chair, who is the chairperson, should serve in direct correlation with the secretary's function in support to propel the communication strategy of this institution. That's why we're saying if the president is in his right mind to appoint an assistant secretary general, that is fine. But then let him work with the previous Constitution Review Committee, or he can set up a new one, and you guys come out since the committee is growing. Because what I do understand is that we have subjected this leadership to a meager one instead of being from the holistic approach. This leadership should be the National Assembly of Indiana, not just Indianapolis. So considering that this president is prepared to move the agenda of LAR forward, he should be working with this constitution and seeking its amendment and, and promoting the need to have charter setups into the various cities of
Yeah,
India.
can I come in? Can I come in?
I'm
Come
still on
in.
the
Okay, you on the
I'm
floor.
still on the flow.
Shut it, Jerry.
I'm still on the flow. So
Two of you
what
that crew
what I'm
passes. So,
what
it's
I'm saying what I'm saying here is
uh-huh.
nobody have qualm with you serving the community. Nobody have qualm with whatever way you want to serve the community. But for it to be formal, it must be backed by the Constitution, and that's our legal instrument. So, Assistant Secretary General does not exist. And when Fati was saying she served as Assistant Secretary General under Arvin Penal administration, right? Fine,
Mm-hmm.
she served. When Jan firstly resigned from that position,
Mm-hmm.
we have issue with attendance listing that was never provided to our sister Coligo, who was the chairman of NEC at the time, chairman of EC at the time. Similar thing happened with the Rufus Stati administration when Jan again resigned for family engagements. The whole institution was squandered. So can she now tell us that serving in that role as Assistant Secretary General, what does she do to provide a solution that we're faced with during the EC time? So we're not saying that you serving as a backup to buttress the administration function or activity, it's a bad thing. But we are saying do it the right way. That's what we are saying.
Well, well, well. First of all, let me hold you there. I'm not serving as a backup. The role I'm playing to bring light to the issue from the side of the administration is simply providing information relevant to the community. First of all, you spoke about. I'm sorry you left the meeting on Sunday before it ended. There are provisions that are being tossed on the ground, on the table by the administration and the board to revisit the Constitution. And there will be constitutional revision. So if at all we need to make amendments to some of the issues we're discussing now, there will be a time there will be copies of the old constitution and copies of the proposed constitution so our people can go through them and we can make the necessary adjustment and put into place what we want and what we want to see it to be. Now, but because you left the meeting, so you didn't know that the board chairman was there and speaking on those issues. Now, you're talking about the president's own method of extension to the various places because there shouldn't be a Liberian Association of Indianapolis. I agree with you. The Liberian Association of Indiana is not Indianapolis. But what we are telling you that the president has a package, and this package the administration has in its first 100 days. There are deliverables. There are concerns. There are concerns of magnitude that the president will prioritize in his first 100 days. We are currently seeking a hall of our own place to be, to host our occasions. Number two, we are also strong on the reunification of the community. That's point number two. We are also going to go out there. We are going to conduct census so as to adequately inform authorities and us that, oh, there are things that we need as a Liberian community, and how can we get it from federal government if we don't know our own numbers? So we are going to be going through all these things. That's point number three. There are a whole bunch of things that is on the desk of the president that he's going to be looking at. So people can jump the gun by thinking that all the things that you told on that we said we would do, we are not doing it. I mean, it's just pretty much a week old. And now the first thing that was done was at least to get this thing over with the budget and make sure the inauguration stands and everything happens. But in fact, we need to get the support of the community. Mr. Perry, you even in a meeting, you say you might not be at the meeting, you might not be at the program. These things don't help our community. You need to come and shoulder your own responsibility as a citizen, as a senior citizen here, that we will see and say, oh, okay, yeah, our brother is here, and now Mr. Logan is here. Everybody, first of all, I want to make this clear. The president don't see an opposition in this community. Everybody is a Liberian citizen, and we are all part of the association. There's no team in here. The president don't see anybody like Team Philip, Team Logan, Team Boya, Team whatever. No, we don't see that. We see everybody as Liberians contributing and paying their dues here, and we will make sure to work in that effort to buttress all the needs of the Liberian people. Going to South Bend, on Noblesville, and other things are on the agenda. They are very high on the agenda. But first and foremost on our agenda is the fact that we need to acquire our own home. We need to interface with other people in the diaspora. We need to have our own connections built here so that the Liberian Association can be very vibrant. We are going to go digital pretty soon. That has been things in the works of the administration, or the new administration. Mr. Kerry and the rest of the crew are working on that. So there are a lot of things that we cannot explain now until the president gets back and until people can see that the administration is holistically following up on this agenda. I remember when Philip read the WikiLeaks, because I call those appointment WikiLeaks because it has not been officially sanctioned by the government, and they were leaked by some means by some people, and saying that people were appointed. When you read them, people thought were, oh, is this the government inclusion? You haven't seen anything yet. There are going to be names that people will shave off from because they never thought these people would have employment in this government. And we are all Liberians, so we're now looking at it a different way. We're looking at it the same old way that it would have been at the time we were turned to Mr. Logan.
All right, Jeremiah. You see, we are not asking you to reveal your 100 days plan or your 200 days plan or your 300 days plan. What I think we were looking at What
Point of correction. Point of correction. Point of correction. Your wife asked for those revelations on Sunday in the meeting. She asked about the 100 days. And in every democracy, the 100 days of the presidency is very essential. You need to spell out what you will do in the 100 days. So what are you asking now? We have our 100 days.
Okay, no, excuse me. She asked for the 100-day plan because I believe she asked for it from an honest standpoint. Because, like I said, we're not supposed to be coming to this meeting and be referred to as emergency meeting. There was our first sitting after election. Let us make it known that it's our first regular meeting. But the budget for the inauguration was looked into and it was passed. So before that could be,
it doesn't change the nomenclature of emergency
Can
or
I-
not, because
can I-
that is emergency or not.
see-
Every other meeting has to be stressed.
so excuse me, we can talk together, but we're gonna sing together. So when I'm speaking, please let me have the flow and we can discuss amicably. You know what I'm saying? So what I was saying here is that you jump the boat from discussing the constitutionality of being assistant secretary appointed or so. You rightly spoke about the board chair speaking on constitutional review and other things. So we cannot jump to something that has not been established or put into full play and accept. So we're still coming back to the same thing, Mr. Chair. The same thing here is Fair Logan said Mr. Chair could be a better IRC chair, and for the IRC chair position for which our constitution strike me, our constitution play how it plays it, the IRC chair serves as the assistant secretary general because he's the second man in line when it comes to the secretariat. That's how the constitution plays it. So until we can review our constitution and say, okay, we will have an assistant secretary general that will be more for publication or publicity for this, for that. We cannot be appointing in that position for now. That's what we say. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, if we do expand and we grow bigger, we won't have one vice president. Most of those people you see as welfare, as ways and means, they'll be referred to as VP when the institution grew and spread out. And such meetings will be like our annual assembly meeting or twice meeting. That's why the constitution states we should have two general assembly meetings. So, like I'm saying, like we still saying we're still saying the same thing. The constitution is not adequate. It needs to be reviewed and for to put into play all those needed variables. But until that can happen, the president cannot be appointing people into position that is not established yet. Are we clear with that?
Excuse me. Are you? No, we're not clear. Are you fantasizing on your own thoughts, talking about that when the organization grows to another height, we'll be having multiple vice presidents? What are you trying to allude? Are you trying to say that okay, the United States has 350 million people? Yeah. So there is only one vice president. So where are you coming from with this mega organization talking about multiple vice presidents? Okay. I think there are room for chaos, but at the same time, this is another discussion for another day, because we cannot be talking about constitutionality, as you said, when in fact there hasn't even been a plan yet to put that on the table. What we are discussing today should not come about multiplicity of vice presidents or candidates simply because someone was appointed. We should be discussing issues relevant to our upcoming inauguration, how best we can help, how best we can encourage people to come to grace this occasion. But now I see that maybe you deflected this topic because you have no interest. Like you said, you will not attend the program. But
No.
I know that you attend, but sometimes you want to.
To a point. Do not allude that.
Why am I holding on? I have my 2 minutes. Let me talk.
Go ahead.
My own 2 minutes. Let me talk. If you are talking. Okay, you are talking about multiple vice presidents. And is it the topic here today? The topic here today is the appointments made by the president that was leaked I don't know how this media got it, but how he got it, and he was making analysis on it, as well as talking about the budget for the upcoming inauguration. That's why we're talking here. But you're going to constitutional issues now, and you're talking about multiple vice presidents. How can we have multiple vice presidents in a single community of less than or 500 persons? So if we are going to conduct census and other things, it still doesn't give us the right because it's not in the constitution. And you are talking about my own appointment allegedly not being constitutional. So I mean, why are you shooting yourself in the leg? You are talking about constitutional matters, and you're talking also about things that are not in the constitution. So how can you
Are you
reconcile that?
are you doing okay? Well, what I was saying was, I said at that time, when we come to the review of the Constitution, we could have multiple VPs into all these positions because we'll be serving at the national level, let's say state level, and all those other small chapters. We have president, vice president, secretary, five elected officers. That's what I was saying. But I'm also saying to you that the assistant secretary general position is not established yet by our organic law. So the president making that appointment is completely wrong on the aspect of the Constitution. The president could have said the president has the right to appoint you as a member of his office to be doing his communication. That for which he have the right, he have that latitude. He has the right to start ad hoc committee that the board will have to approve, and he can make the appointment. That he has that latitude, but he don't have the right to establish a position because the constitution do not provide that. That's what Philip was coming up with first, and that's what we were discussing. So everything I said in the past about review of constitution, I said at that time when we go to review the constitution, we look at it from a national level. So don't say I'm flogging the topic, and don't come back and say, "Oh, how are you saying not attending?" Look, maybe in attendance won't put the cry in me to a pool. I'm not calling people don't go to inauguration. I've never attended no inauguration in Indiana. Ask everybody who here. I've never attended any of those party because as as of now, they refer to it now as emergency meeting to pass the budget for the inauguration. The next emergency meeting will be to pass the budget for Valentine Party. Then the next emergency meeting will be to pass the budget for July 26th. That has been the roadmap. So maybe Packer and his team can change that. Because what? You can't be telling people to pay meeting dues. We are not of service to them. The people should feel obligated to the institution for what the institution is providing before they will be compelled to pay meeting dues. So that's why we are saying here. We're
All
saying the
right.
same thing. So
Like I said,
let me learn, Philip.
go ahead. Go ahead.
So when Philip came out to say that Fatty put up a listing or method for people to pay due, and Robert reflected it in his press statement or his publication, those are all good things. But what are the services you're offering to those people before you barging them for meeting due? Because sooner or later, y'all start taking people out of your LAR chat room because they're not paying meeting due. That has been the old order of the day. We are only cautioning you now. The committee has grown. The committee is growing enormously. So people need to strategize. People need to the executive team need to sit down.
Okay,
Need to sit down at the executive meetings.
Mr. Philip,
Let me learn.
Mr.
Draw up, draw
Mr.
out,
Philip,
draw out,
Mr. Philip,
draw out.
you can't take more than
You
4 minutes to
you
learn.
were speaking. I
Yeah.
didn't interrupt you. Am I protected here?
Yeah. Go ahead.
You,
Two
you
more.
2 minutes.
you
Yeah.
guys need to sit down and set up, like you see you guys working on your 100 days plan. Good. Set up a meeting time table that we'll all identify and say, oh, the first Sunday, the last Sunday is early hour meeting. Then we'll pull it aside off on our schedule so we can be in attendance, so you can have the numbers to discuss the issues, and you can have the assembly to holistically sit there and give their input or put it to vote and do whatsoever. Because in the past leadership, Rufus Tati appointed his board members without the acquiescence of the assembly. But yet still, these people were true on us, and they started functioning. We don't want that this time around, brother. That's what we're saying. So we're looking at the constitutionality of this institution, and we're all trying to provide our support or our input from the sideline. We don't have to be part of the leadership team to vent out our points or to say what is factual. That's what we are saying. Alain,
Go ahead, Jeremiah.
Uh, Mr. Logan, what I see Mr. Pele is saying is this: the president has his prerogative to make appointments. Now,
Mm-hmm.
if the president makes an appointment and the community see it not in the right form of manner, not following the constitution, I think the president has his own method of vetting. And now, if there are things that people see fit and there are things that people don't see fit,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because every administration vets its own appointees. Like Mr. Logan said the president needs to go back and see how he's vetting his people. Neither they didn't know that the president appointed people and they had issue with them. And now, since that people have issue with those appointments, I can assure you, the president is a key-handed, a kind man. He will address these issues. In as much as it go down well with the community, he will address them. If it doesn't go down well with the community, he will still address them. The issue is not, it shouldn't be about whether people happy about the appointments or not. But all we know that the president has appointed, we can't confirm or deny, but there are people that will be appointed that they are all professional people. So people cannot be spewing all things like like I told you, there are professionals out there, people will be given a chance to work. And there are people who will shy away. People don't want to work. People don't want to work with them. So let's see how far they go. That mentality is the one that is crippling the community. And that's why we are going to work against. We are going to make sure we unite everybody and bring everybody to the drawing board, all professionals, and encourage people. People don't see it that way. People see it like, oh, that Tim Parker stuff and something like that. And we don't see it that way. And I heard my brother Peter talking about people will be removing people from chat rooms. It's comical, it's laughable because we're not into that kind of establishment. It's very that we are tolerable people. We're very tolerant, and we make sure that everyone's voice will be heard. If we disagree with you and you disagree with us, you will still be on board. There's no plans on the agenda of the administration to remove people with dissenting voice. We spoke about it when we were in opposition. Now we got power. It doesn't mean that we're going to use that power against the people or against the community. Nobody's going to sanction people. Nobody's going to remove people from chat room because they express their feelings. Remember, we are all Liberians and they are all tax-paying or due-paying members. So there are just rumors just all over the place for the wrong reasons, wanting to see people fail, and which is bad. The president will not and shall not remove anybody from the chat room. Let me reiterate. Remove anybody from the chat room because you disagree with his policies or you disagree with officials or somebody say, okay, remove this person. We will not do that. We are not in the business of that. People will express themselves and people will find means of seeing how best they can serve the community, whether you were me or not. We are going to work together. Thank you.
For
okay,
thanks, gentlemen. We have
Jeremiah, Jeremiah,
yeah,
man,
just a
Jeremiah,
second, please.
Jeremiah, let me one thing clear to you. I
Mm-hmm.
understand everything you say here. It makes sense, and I hope you guys will hold you guys to your feet to make sure that these things happen because it has been the order of the day from the past, and that is something that is recognizable. That's something that is conspicuous. And I want to throw light on Jan's statement he made on the show, General, that I should prove to him where the secretary is. It says IRC chair functions is assistant secretary general. I want Jan to go and read on the secretary put the secretary function. On the last, he said he shall serve as the chairperson ex officio of the Information and Research Committee serve as chairperson ex officio. So then, who is the chairperson for the RRC? Who is he serving as chairman ex officio to? Is the RRC chair, right? Now, go back to the RRC standing committee shall collect all information pertaining to the association in collaboration with the secretariat. The secretariat, there, who is the head of the secretariat? The general secretary. Now, the chairman of this committee is the one who's collaborating. So, yeah, if you don't understand English well, I ask you to go back and reread and ask other people to provide understanding to the statement thereof. Those people who wrote this constitution, though it is not flawless, it has problem for which we have to review. Some of them will come out here and make statements that we cannot support. So go by the constitution and read it, yeah. Read it well. You resign from Arvin Penner. You resign from Rufus Tati. You resign twice. Why will President Parker now using infinite wisdom appoint you as ULA chair when you resign twice based on other engagements? How can you serve us well? Now for Jeremiah Sele, he served as secretary to Casa Dennis, and he did resign and did not inform this committee why he resigned. This boy has integrity issues, and they're not committed to the position they are given to serve. At that time, they were elected and they resigned. Speak about appointment. Why you just walk off without telling anybody that you walk off?
Mr. Logan.
Yeah,
Mr.
hold
Logan.
on. Let me bring Jan Foluda on. Go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Logan. Why I think Mr. Phillips should understand is that everyone appointed allegedly by the president has impeccable character, infinite wisdom, and they will serve the community with the highest esteem and honor because
they don't resign again,
and they are the right. They are placed.
They won't resign again. They won't resign again.
They will not resign on this current trajectory. We are going to make sure these people are people of good standing morally, and they are people who have served this community, and they are going to be given the time.
Jeremiah, you can speak to the people.
Yes, I want to make something clear to Pele in studio. Mm-hmm. Now he just read the Constitution stated that how you call it, the RRC is part of the Secretariat. No part of the Constitution say the RRC chair is going to be serving as an assistant secretary general. Now you're talking about ex officio. The secretary general serving as an ex officio on the RRC. The vice president also serves as an ex officio on all committees.
This is a function of the RRC here.
Yeah, hold on. Does it mean that?
In continuation with this one here. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, does it mean that all of the chair on all the how you call it, other committees will serve as an secretary, I would say as an assistant vice president to the vice president? What Pele is saying.
You want me to answer? I can answer.
In the Constitution, specifies specifically that the RRC chair is an assistant secretary general. So the president, in his own mind, wants for his administration to run smoothly. He will appoint somebody that will assist the secretary general to run the affairs of the secretariat.
Exactly. No. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Let me speak to that. Let me speak to that. Let me speak to that.
In his own mind, will serve as we appoint an assistant secretary general. So if you say automatically because the secretary general is serving as an ex officio on the RRC, then the RRC chair will automatically assist the secretary general to serve as an secretary general. That
other committee that the vice president serving on as an ex official, then all the committee here will be assistant vice president to us too. That's why he's technically telling us.
Okay,
All
yeah,
right, Mr. Folule.
yeah. Let me let me
Thank
let,
you.
let me
Thank
let
you
me
so
te-
much.
let me provide some instructions. Let me teach.
Hmm.
You ask me to teach, I will teach now. The IRC there, their function, their function is Jamachi, don't laugh. Their function there is specified. Can you put it up, Philip? So Young can you read it? Philip, can you please put it up there? Yeah, Young read the function of the IRC. And let's look at the function of the secretary. So when we say ex officio, is that because the person is holding a position, so the person form part of this organization. I mean this committee. So the vice president, holistically, the vice president should be the one who is the functional head of LAI according to this constitution. Because before any budgetary analysis is placed before the assembly, the vice president will work with all committees based off their activities, draw up the activity for a year or two or three, and attach costs to those activities. Then you come up with the budget. And the budget is like a prediction that these activities will raise this. People will come to this. People will come to that. So the vice president is like he functions as the head. After he has done that, he will have to go to the executive to the EC body where the president, vice president, secretary, financial secretary, parliamentarian, and chaplain, where they will sit at the EC meetings and provide those reports. That this is what those various committees have decided to champion for the common good of the Liberian community. Now, if you look at the function of the secretary and the function of the IRC, they all disseminate, they all publish, they all do work with information as it pertains to this institution. So if the IRC chair, who is the chairperson for information collection, to spread information, I'll talk in simple terms, and to save information for the common good of the public, that is also the holistic function of the Secretary General. So you already have a help by that committee. They did not only sit in one website, they're not only doing news letters or so. And now another thing you have to understand is this: the IRC or the Secretariat, if it goes to the Constitution, it says the Secretariat shall consist of the Secretary General and the head of all standing and ad hoc committees. In consultation with the President, the Secretary shall coordinate the activities of all standing and ad hoc committee. It still put the Secretary in a lead role. And you don't expect the welfare chair to set over information. You expect the IRC chair.
Mr. Pele,
So
Mr.
so
Pele,
yeah,
Mr. Pele.
yeah, go back
I don't
and read.
know. I don't know where all the hula baloo coming from in your analysis, because the thing is simple. Nobody is going to butt heads over functions,
I'm not
because
saying you
everybody
bought here.
read and understand the Constitution.
I'm not saying
Number
you bought
one.
here.
Number two, the administration has in place symposiums that will be held, hosted on, like we're doing a retreat for each and every person appointed, so that you know your function and you know how to function and where you are placed. These things is like a mini workshop for our people to understand. So I don't understand where people just come in. Let me tell you something. If Mrs. Boateng, Juma Family Boateng is heading the ROC, it should be a plus for the community. She's a well-learned person. She's a professional person. In terms of research, I don't think whether you journalists or what, I don't think the research that lawyers carry out can be compared to any other person. You understand me? So I mean, these things are that thing that will help the community to augment the strength of already people that have been placed in the community.
Nobody is
Jeremiah,
like who want to function like this or that. No,
Jeremiah,
we don't see it
Jeremiah.
that way. Mr. Young that was trying to inform you, like you critique the appointment on the function on the basis that the president made an appointment and the other person function is overlapping the other person function. That's your basic analysis. And what we are telling you is that we are functioning as a secretariat. So whether the information research people and us collaborate is understandable. It's in the same vein. We will
Jeremiah,
not go and cross
there is
the
no
IRC. The IRC will not come and function for us.
Jeremiah, there is no position called Assistant Secretary General. I'm still telling you until the Constitution is reviewed
Okay,
and amended.
Mr. Pele, you will have to go back and live with that thought now that there is an Assistant Secretary General for the Library Association. And if I'm confirmed, because right now we are hearing that
who's confirming you?
It's an appointment.
Who's confirming you?
Who's confirming me? If the letter comes out from the Secretary General, then it means it's confirmed. If the administration posts that letter up and people see that letter,
you said if I'm confirmed. So I wonder who's confirming you. So that means you see what we say now.
Yes, that's the only confirmation. You and myself can only be talking.
That's a constitutional crisis. That is a crisis.
I have not seen the letter, so I cannot confirm.
Jeremiah, I'm not saying that based off confirmation. I'm speaking of constitutional crisis. The president has no right. The president has no right. He is power to appoint Assistant Secretary General.
There's no crisis.
Y'all can live with that. Y'all can live with that.
You're gonna live with that. Mr.
Y'all can live.
Be able to assist there.
Y'all can live with that fictitious appointment.
Yeah, whether it's fictitious or not, you are the one speaking.
Y'all can live with that fictitious appointment.
You are consuming.
Y'all can live with that fictitious appointment.
Because you want to.
Y'all can live with that fictitious appointment.
Set the issue.
All right, guys. Jeremiah and Pele, we have been here for over 2 hours now, so we just go to our party. You know what we'll do? We will set another date, Pele. Because right now everything that I just announced here, that's information that I've been privileged to receive, appointments. But what I think we need to do, we have to wait for the president final appointments when he put out his final appointments.
When it's published.
When it is published, then we'll come here and critique them. But for now, what we have here, except to go back and make some changes, but what I saw here is craft in stone. And another information that I have been privileged to receive, that the DJ who will be playing on this program is going to be a non-Liberian. He married to a Liberian woman, Stefan. And we hope that's not the case. So
listen, Mr. Logan, let me speak to that.
We hope that's not the case.
People always find way
to speculate. That's speculation.
That's speculation. That's a big speculation.
That's what the media. That's media here for.
That's speculation.
That's what the media here for.
That's speculation.
Listen.
Yeah. Until then.
Nobody will play. If nobody will play that day, I can assure you if that 4-year-old baby will play, they'll play. But there can be no foreigner playing on our inauguration day. I can assure you that. Number one, I told you from the beginning when I started my conversation.
He said they're doing some negotiation.
There were two DJs shortlisted.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the most proficient and efficient person who has been in the business and knows how to do it. I'm telling you that we are being in negotiation with Mr. Ernest Madison. We are also being in negotiation with Mr. Tommy Nimlin. Those are the two people we're in negotiations with. And from where we see, the negotiation with Mr. Menacee has gone up to the point that we can say maybe we 85% or 70 or 85% sure that he's gonna help us in this endeavor. And we are also going to tell you that on the other negotiation, we are good. So there can be no way foreigner players on our Independence Day. Trust me.
All right. Thank you so much for that information. So let's go and get our party, guys. We've already been here for 2 hours. Let me recognize the princess just show face. The Logan's our princess, Tutu McCarthy. Welcome up there. All right. There you have for you, Jeremiah. Let's get your 2 minutes party and get Philly 2 minutes party. And
get Philly tough first. Because when Philly one go,
they will deal with you.
Yeah, they tough.
the host asks you to do your parting. Why you say I should speak first?
Okay, okay, I will do it. I will do it with heavy heart.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, so that 2 minutes, you want go 1 minute, the man go 1 minute.
No, that man can't go 1 minute. No 1 minute, that man, boy. You're top of it. Number one, thank you again for the show, Mr. Logan.
Mm.
Thank you for bringing us on. What we like to say is this: there's no rift, and we think the administration's proposed appointments that was just speculated, and even though we cannot confirm, neither can we deny. They are all professional people. I think, especially what those going to EULA, those serving on the ways, means, and finance, and the co-chairs, the welfare, the education, everybody, the youth chair, the co-chair to the youth chair, everybody is a professional, and we look at them with the highest esteem, and we know that they are going to perform because these are people that have the track record of performance, and we can assure you that this administration is going to do all it can to work beyond the aisle. We're going to extend our hands, and we'll continue to do so because we believe that intermingling is the best way in an association performance level. Because if we are going to be by ourselves, it's not going to augur well for us. So we are going to bring on board other people who are professional, who are willing to serve, to come and help us. And I would like to part with this. The comment made earlier concerning Mrs. Boateng.
Mrs. Boateng.
Yeah, I believe.
Who's Mrs. Boateng?
Chima Famula Boateng.
Oh, okay.
I believe that she's a professional and she's going to ably represent that office. She would do it better than most people think that they would. And I think she's the right person placed in that position and will help us shape and change the dynamics in the community, at least.
Okay.
And those people placed on various committees.
I think the functions are simple. These are the two major functions here. So we need to see newsletters spreading out in the community. We want to see the website if they manage. That's the two things I can hold anybody.
Mr. Logan, if there's a need be, I can assure you we'll reach out to those in charge and knows about these things, and they are going to also contribute a quota in helping the administration. But if we reach out to anybody and they think that they're going to give us bottleneck, I can assure you we will still do it, and these things will be implemented ably. So I just want to part by saying thank you for allowing me on the show to throw some light on a few issues. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jeremiah Chie. It is my privilege. Thank you so much. Thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Savannah Pele.
Yeah, I enjoy all the rhetorics the brother just put out. And like I said, we will hold them to their feet, that they will implement these things, and that they will have a realistic position that we try to when we try to bring them under direct scrutiny. The thing is that some of us, we have cold feet for such announcement that have not been published yet. We await the publication, and we stand firm with our positions. And one thing I will make them to understand, the president, from his function, he's the leader of LAI, but the Constitution also reduces him to just being the main PR officer for LAI, to sell the institution to other institutions or meaningful states that they can provide those services or those help that is needed for this community. We have been through this, and we continue to go through the same stories. They come out, they make flimsy remarks, they make promises that you cannot hold on to. Then when you start to criticize them, they see you as being negative, but they don't take the criticism and work with it. So Jeremiah spoke highly. And let me make one thing clear. Nobody is questioning G-Man's ability to serve as RRC chair. What we were saying, or what you were saying on the show for which I joined the show, was that if you have an RRC chair where the Constitution clearly dictates the role of the RRC, the committee, and the Constitution also clearly dictates the role of the secretary, right? It tells you that you cannot have an assistant secretary for which the Constitution did not establish. So it's like the president is forcing this position on us with a complete disregard to the organic law. So why are we asking Jeremiah Chia and others, or this leadership, because I was on the phone with Robert Kerry about the same assistant secretary position that has been established. So if other leadership did it in the past, they did it in the past at their own ignominy. Because the law states ignoramus juris heus excusat. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. So we will not sit by and allow the law to be abused or disabused. We will not sit by and allow it. We have sat in this community. We have seen leadership come, leadership go, with no service for the Liberian people. They only use the elections to raise money. Rufus did not raise 51,000 when he was president. Rufus was at 19,000. The elections added 32,000. And those records are there. So if you have a failed start with your implementation, then we'll question you. So the reality here is, you'll be fair to the Liberian people. If you don't have the ingredients for this soup, clearly tell us now. But don't reach out to us as if you have the ingredient. Then we'll try to question the ingredients that you have, because I want to put chicken soup in a pan water and you don't have the chicken soup. I want to put pepper, but you say, well, just cook it. It'll be tasteless. Who will eat it? Then I'm a professional person. I'll tell you, no, that's not how it works. You speak about website. I did a website for Casa Dennis. Bulu Tabia was a member of the team. Alberto Tabia was a member of the team. The board chairman was a member of the team. Oscar Dennis was a member of the team. You get what I'm saying? We came out with a website. The website was published, everything. Then we came out with rules that the RRC should be the one who will sit over the website based off the Constitution and publish those information for the website. Because we don't want the president to sit there and say, oh, you cannot publish this because it affected me. Then there's no democracy. Casa quickly chicken out. So we have been there. We have been down this road for this time. Some of us won't waste our time. The time we can quantify for monetary analysis and then throw it out there free of charge, and later people say we can't work with it because why you're saying this. Now, if this leadership wants to have a safe landing, the RRC, the Constitution states that the president will appoint the chairman of all committees. The committees themselves supposed to work with people they trust they can work with. The committee chair must trust people who they can work with and form the committee. And send that name to the president office. Say, oh, I want the person to serve as my co-chair, put yourself as this, as that. But if you start putting names out, chairman, co-chair, chairman, co-chair, you're dictating the pace of the committee. That's not how it works. That's not leadership. Go back to your organic law. Read it well. Understand it. Understand the explicitly. What it tells you. Though it's not flawless, but it's a working tool. Use that to your opportunity. Seek those people who you feel they can serve in those capacities. Allow them to form a working team. Ask them to provide what the deliverables will be. At the end of the period, question why wasn't you delivering this when you said you could deliver this? And that's how we work with the UN system. There's evaluation period. So if I'm coming to Parker say, oh, I want to be your IRC chair, I must come with a plan that will lift the image of this organization. If I come as a ULI representative, I must come with a plan that will lift this institution. If I come as a Waste Means Finance chair, I must come with a plan on how I'm going to raise money. The same thing with welfare. The same thing with education. Then when you come with those plans has activities that will be identified and be championed for the common good of this community. Take for instance, churches are now writing for grants in this community and using the grants for other purposes. Whereas we don't have no single child care center for single parents or parents who are engaged with work life for them to take their kids to and feed the relief. If you are doing these things for the community, those people who are benefiting, whether directly or indirectly, will see the need to pay their meeting dues. Those are not rocket science. So before coming to leadership, if I was the one contesting to be president, when you are contesting as president, we set up a date and time to sit to have our 100 days plan. Pin down what we're going to do, this is that, to have a year plan, stretch out, and as far as you become president, to start those activities on the go. So if you come to a meeting, the first meeting, but then because you didn't come prepared, you tell the committee that, look, it was an emergency meeting just to pass the budget for inauguration. That's a failed start. Nobody should be doing your assignments. You decide to be president for this institution. You have code of officers. You put them meeting during your campaign time. You put them meeting on all different dates at several levels. Then you tell me that, oh, I'm still working on the plan. So why you want to become president? Because before you take on leadership, you must understand the problem of the institution and what you intend to change and how you intend to change it and how impactful those changes will be that will change the trajectory of the entire institution. We call that paradigm shift. We call that paradigm shift. So if you come here making, oh, the president, you only speaking to glorify the individual. Some of you go to churches, you worship the pastor instead of worshiping God. And that's what happened. That's what been played out here. So some of us will not sit, will not rest until you start looking in the other direction. Because I'm telling you, Castle inauguration was a failure. Jerry inauguration was a failure. Ivy inauguration was a failure. Rufus inauguration was a failure. There was no money raised. There was no money raised. So what is the same team that planned Rufus inauguration with just a few added? Because Jeremiah Chie was just added. The same Ethel Kumbo planned Rufus inauguration as chairman. The same Wellington Draper as co-chair. If he could not give us a winning result, how can you give him the job now? What can he do? What can she do differently? What can she do differently? So aren't there are more people in this community that have ideas? My departing word, let us not make LAR an institution of party, planning party, passing budget for party. Gone are those days that people just want to go and merry-make. There are a lot of young people in this community that need mentors, There are a lot of young people in this community that are confused with financial responsibilities. There are a lot of people in this community that don't understand the way forward. We need to set the record straight. And I'm happy that the opposition is, which is no more opposition, is willing to assist. So y'all reach out and y'all listen to the criticism or to the critique and learn one or two and do the right thing. We can't keep living like this. We can't keep spending money on parties because right after the inauguration, the inauguration is January 14th. A month after, it's Valentine's Day party. They want that other gallo. People wear a red dress, that suit. The next thing, July 26th, the year has ended. Christmas, the men will have ball. Young men will do their own thing. The community will just be at a complete deadlock. So let us learn from our past mistakes and amend have those needed changes that we can move this community forward. We need a hall. We need childcare facility. We need so many things. If we have an event hall, you can trust one or two parents who are elderly to sit there and take care of people, children. And you can charge minimum amount and use that money to take care of the children. And another thing you could also do, your inauguration is coming. Rufus time, they were selling lapa for inauguration. I was on Rufus' team at the time. I questioned that. My question came from, why can't they sell this lapa and give back to LAI? When I questioned that, they said they stopped selling the lapa. But people show up to the inauguration with that lapa on. But they stopped selling it. LAI did not benefit from that sale. That was the first corruption. Man, I can say it as I see it. So if anybody wants to use LAI as a means to make money and other things, they need to start working with the LAI institution. Give back to the institution. We don't have to raise money from just meeting dues. I could say today, LAI have a website, have a platform that people post their information. But if we post the information to announce your activity, you pay $10, right? LAI benefit $2.50 from the website because the person who's doing the work doesn't take the $7.50. If you check $2.50 by 100 person is $25 or you know what I'm saying? That institution benefit instantly with no stress and strain on the institution spending money from her coffers. Child care, people pay $15 a day, and I get $5. The institution who run it get $10 to take care of the operational activities. These are some of the things that LAI needs to be thinking of. Don't start questioning people say, oh, meeting due, you pay meeting due, I'll take it from the chat room. You pay meeting. I mean, you are not being unjust to the institution because when you take this people from the meeting due from the chat room or from other activities, that's how other people who is passionate about this individual quickly distance themselves. Send the change that matter. That's all I have to say. LAI should be LAI should be a place that is welcoming, that will accept criticism and will work with this criticism. Everybody don't have to be in leadership, but listen to the people, listen to the masses. That's how you make an informed decisions. So I leave you with that, Mr. Logan.
Thank you, Mr. Savannah's Pele. So he leaving you with listen to the people, listen to the masses. The voice of the people are the voice from God. So Mr. Savannah Pele said that tonight, listen to the people and listen to the masses. So if you're looking for a place to go on the 24th of December, look nowhere else. You have the Ugly Sweater Party coming up. That is you see it right there? Ugly Sweater Party is going to be at 360 Evans Street, 7 o'clock p.m., Indianapolis, Indiana, 46222. 46222. Go and get your ugly sweater now. It's on December 24th, 2022. Get your ugly sweater and let's go and celebrate. So it's Gao birthday. All over. Everywhere will be locked down. On the 24th is Gao birthday. All right. So, well, I'm about to end up, and I have two concerns while I'm closing up. And I will address two people here, but I think I'll be very respectful. Mr. Debert Emmer, welcome, my dear brother. Any two people I will address tonight, I'm hoping that they learn from this. You see, I said this before, and I'm repeating. Politics or power, whenever you are elected to any position for that matter, elected position, you need to be very careful. Once you are in power and you are leading people, because in most cases, whatever you say, it's going to be used as a serious policy statement. And I have said this more than once. Two officials, one is appointed and one is elected. First of all, my own bastard sister Rose Bayou. I've seen you commenting. I've seen you making some derogatory statement here, which of course, you're serving on a committee that is so critical to this administration. Ways, means, and finance. When people start to see you to be a bully, when you organize program, they will not come there. You have to try to be flexible to the code. I know when you were in campaign time, you was vocal, you was hard to respond to issues, but you have the power now. Remember, it's a diminishing commodity. It start to diminish as fast as you think. And you're serving in a position that's supposed to bring money to the institution. You want for people to see you as a unifier. You want for people to see you as the person who can organize event and the rest of the community stand up and say, we're going there. But if you coming up here and refer to people in a way that is derogatory, people are going to see you as a bully as soon as possible. And another person again is Fatima family. Fatima family, in all fairness, you have been elevated to another level. You have been privileged to be among the few to serve this noble community. I remember when we went to the last meeting with the bull, your daddy sat in a meeting and he said in that meeting, I have a whole army behind me. When Yan resigned his position, my daughter Fatima family took on the position. And you were in that meeting, you felt he was praising you. And you celebrated that in the presence of everybody. You never reject that I never took on the position. Now, when I said it, you started calling me all kinds of names. Now, let me tell you why I don't take from people. Whenever people talk about me, talk about my credibility, it stirs me up. Because what brought me to this point? Because I am credible. I don't lie. I have no reasons to lie. Once it ain't costing my life, I have no reason to lie. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I have no girlfriend anywhere. If you see me with one, call my wife and tell her. So my credibility is in tight. So if you trying to tell me to work on my credibility, you as the financial secretary for the institution that has just been elected, you want to start dragging yourself so early? Until you know you have some dirty past and you got to work on it. That should be the last time you, of all person, try to tell me about my credibility. And I'll leave that for now. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining the show tonight. I know it was a hot end, and sometimes it's good to have a very heated end when some people try to disrespect themselves. So if you're in position and you do not respect yourself in that position, if the community respect you and elevate you to a position, trust me, I, Philip Logan, I do not shy away from anybody. My head is big, it don't fit anybody's mouth. I have a character that I can stand anywhere and boast of. Nobody can say I do lie. I don't lie for, why should I lie? And the next time you talk about working my credibilities, you will have me to face and you will have me to deal with. And this is a warning to you, and you got to take the necessary note. I understand you have a dark past that you're working on. Keep working on it. Good night to everyone, and I'll see you again. Bye-bye.